in Sri Lanka. Over the last 3 years, our partnership with ICBT flourished, with Cardiff Met in-country perception and student number exceeding any expected levels. Mohan is also the country contact point for European-funded projects for staff and student mobility. ICBT is an associate partner with Cardiff Metropolitan University and other institutions in an Erasmus Mundus project titled Interweave. From this, it is clear that Mohan has ensured that through his role as the CEO of ICBT, he has achieved many successes and has paved the way for this to continue. Professionally, Mohan is an associate member of the Association of Tertiary Education Management, Australia. He is associate member of the Australian Institute of Management and a member of Sri Lanka Institute of Directors. Mohan is also a member of Private Sector Association with Quality Assurance Agency Council Sri Lanka to regulate the private sector higher education institutes in country. As well of all of this, at the 2013 World Market Summit in Malaysia, with representation from 63 countries from across Europe, the Americas, Africa, and Asia, Mohan was duly acknowledged as Asia's most innovative leader and the best young achiever in education. Vice Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present Dr. Mohan Pathirana for the most prestigious award that the university can bestow, that of the Honorary Fellowship of the University.
Our congratulations to Dr. Mohan Pathirana, Honorary Fellow of the Cardiff Metropolitan University, and it's my pleasure now to invite Dr. Pathirana to address this assembly.
Thank you, Shehan. I remember the days that I used to come across graduations and sit like any of you. The days that sometimes are very important in your life. Some are academically important, some are personally important. And I did my bachelor's and I sat like you. When I did my master's, I sat like you. And I remember meeting some special people in life. I would have met my parents when I was born. And then you meet your life's partner. And then you marry, some greatest moments. And then, in the month of October, I was honored with the Doctor of University from Middlesex University. And today, I think this is probably the greatest moment in my life, because the Cardiff Metropolitan University, one of the high-ranked universities in UK, has bestowed me with the Honorary Fellowship, which is the highest award and the highest recognition a university can award an individual. And for a small man like me, I think I cannot say it's a dream come true, because nobody would dream to have a fellowship like this. Vice Chancellor, Professor Anthony Champion, my chairman, Dr. Jagat Alvis, Professor Mohammad Lutfi, my good friend, and Professor David Brooksbank, Lloyd Powell from Cardiff Met University, Mr. Adrian, the faculty of ICBT, the directors of the ICBT, and my friends from abroad, from Qatar, Mr. Hamad Al-Khabib, and Mr. Joy Nandi and Satish Sharma, who has been long friends of ICBT, and myself. Dear students and parents, and as much as it's important in your days of life like this, I would like to share few things that I feel that I can sum up with the life's walk, which has never been an easy cakewalk for me in coming up to some position and contributing to the development of education industry in Sri Lanka, as well as qualifying more than 30,000 students in the project so-called as ICBT. I remember the days that we started ICBT. As I told you, we meet special people in life, and we sometimes tend to lose special people in life at moments that you mostly need them. When I did my A-levels, I lost my father when I got the results, and he wouldn't have known even that I was selected to the university. And that was sheer strength and courage of my mother that, my brother who's here today, he has flown all the way from Australia. He's a professor at the Deakin University. He was the island first in mathematics in 1988 from Royal College. And we both had to excel in our education. Because in the Sri Lankan context those days, there was nothing called, I'm talking about the 1990, early 90s or late 80s. There was no something called second option in your academic life. You go for the kill for your higher education. You have to struggle very hard. Those students who are here at my age would have known how much we have struggled to get into a government university. Those who are affluent enough could have flown abroad for education, but not many could have. But then, out of so many hundreds, thousands, only few would gain entry to the university. So we had no option other than study hard and get into a government university. Luckily, we both got scholarships to study abroad. My brother got from Australian government, I got from Indian government, and at a time that we could not afford much or put burden on my mother with our education. So we both flew to various countries. The difference is that he settled in Australia and I came from India to Sri Lanka. Well, the education, what I got from India was actually transformed my whole life initially, because I was the first student council president who was a foreigner in an Indian university. I was able to grab Indian Hindi and I could speak like an Indian at that time. And then when I came back, it was a struggle for doing engineering at a time that high-tech engineering industry was not so developed. Then again, I had to I thought I would better off in management than in technical areas, where I thought I would do my master's in MBA. And I applied for the MBA, and I was probably the youngest in the batch. 800 students applied for education in MBA in Colombo University. Only 80 students were accepted to follow the program. And I was the youngest. I remember Professor Degamboda is there out of the panel, who's my teacher. I have real great respect for Professor Degamboda, because he knows the history behind how it came. And I went to the panel and I was so desperate that I wanted to do the MBA, and they said, come back after 5 years because you're so young to do the MBA. But I was so desperate. And they even asked me, why are you so desperate? And the desperation was to have the qualification and get into the management. And it was actually in the year 1999, I did my MBA. And as I said, you meet always special people, and then you never give up on them. So I met my boss, Dr. Jagat Alvis, in the year 2000. And together with us, we started laying the foundation of ICBT campus. Nowadays, what you see is a quite luxury. But then, in the year 2000, how we started ICBT was a one lecture hall, one lab, and myself, and I had a secretary and a receptionist and an office assistant. So starting of ICBT. And it was never easy for me because I came from an engineering background, and Dr. Jagat Alvis, he's an insurance professional, and education went out of the blues for us. Took us about 5 years to find the right people, get to know what is the real quality education, and then grow and develop. And we grew incessantly, and we found the partners. And in the year 2010, we met the Cardiff Metropolitan University. So it's actually, whenever the message is a small message that I want to share, whenever you find the right person, when you find the real friend, don't give up on them and get the best out of them. I must thank all of you for supporting ICBT. And the ICBT is the first education institute in Sri Lanka to cross 1 billion turnover. And unfortunately, I cannot accommodate you, but the new building, which all of your shareholders, will be open mid next year. And that's going to be the biggest private sector education institute building in the heart of Colombo, which is purpose built. And we would like to work with Cardiff Metropolitan University in cross-border learning and teaching. And also already we are working in 5 Middle East countries, catering to most of the Sri Lankan expats. We have about more than 500 or 600 students in the Middle East. And our center in India is opening in end of this month. So a lot of activities are there. We, as Dr. Alvis said, we never limited ourselves to Sri Lankan context. But I think education is global. ICBT is again in Sri Lanka the first education institute to launch the online postgraduate diploma, which we would like to cater to a certain segment of the market, like the people who are not stationary at one place but mobile. A lot of innovation at ICBT. We have a good team, and there are some of the team members who are working with me more than 10 years, Mr. Andro Gamage, Mr. Vijit, Komodu, Harshana, Pawan, Gayatrika. So our team is young and energetic, and we have probably made you through the difficult journey, and always be with ICBT and talk about ICBT, talk good about ICBT, right? And wish you all the best in your careers, and share with my happiness of a greatest day and the greatest moment of my life. Thank you so much.
Dr. Mohan Pathirana, for your words of wisdom and sharing your illuminating experiences with us. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are more awards that are to be presented, and this award is an award of recognition presented by the Cardiff Metropolitan University in recognition of the outstanding achievements and support rendered to Cardiff Metropolitan University in the promotion of British higher education throughout Sri Lanka and the Southeast Asian and Middle Eastern region. This award is to be presented by Professor Anthony J. Chapman, the Vice Chancellor of the Cardiff Metropolitan University, and it is being presented to the Chairman of ICBT Campus, Dr. Jagat Alvis. Might I now invite Professor Chapman to kindly present this award of recognition to Dr. Jagat Alvis in recognition for the outstanding achievements in promoting British higher education in Sri Lanka and the region. Thank you, Professor. Our second award of recognition is for the outstanding achievement and supporting the development of British higher education in the state of Qatar in partnership with ICBT. And this award will be presented by Dr. Jagat Alvis to our representative from the state of Qatar, Mr. Hamad Al-Kabi. Congratulations, Mr. Al-Kabi. Thank you, Dr. Alvis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the moment that you have been most eagerly awaiting, and that is the presentation of your degrees, bachelor's degrees and master's degrees. And in presenting these degrees, to conferring these degrees on you, I have the pleasure of inviting Professor Anthony J. Chapman, Vice Chancellor of Cardiff Metropolitan University, Professor Mohammed Lutfi, Pro-Vice Chancellor International of Cardiff Metropolitan University, and Mr. Lloyd Powell, the Head of Collaborative Provisions of Cardiff Metropolitan University, to kindly step forward in making this, in conferring these degrees on our to proclaim the names of those receiving degrees today. I have the pleasure of first inviting Mr. Sanjeeva Karunanayaka to kindly oblige.
Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Business and Management, Mohammad Najmuddin Mohammad Feroz. Satisha Rajalingam. Don Priyal Dinan Vanyarachi. Mohammed Amal Falil. Vaijayanti Sanjana Sirivadana. Arushi Rangisha Pereira. Mazia Faisal. Aminat Sharif. Natgunaraja Rashil Diani. Fazlan Muhammad Marika. Divya Nadeshwaran. Adam Rashid. Hassan Mauzuma. Maria Nidra Tisevarasinha. Piumika Netri Atigalla. Chalendra Jain Costa. Satira Manpia Silva. Tittavalage Dona Shihara. Madhugudaralalage Dona Dulanjali Gunaratna. Dulita Mevan Piris. Mohammed Salman Amin. Raja Kartika. Ali Ahmed. Bangamu Arachige Chaturi Ayeshani. Ahmed Shakir Balsuk. Navodaya Prabhashwari Chandraratna. Deepani Sandamali Chandrasena. And Shashika Dabarera. Efradia Dean. Ashini Sakuntala de Silva. Samitri Edrisingha. And Sanurika Fernando. Nilum Krishanti Fernando.